lettuce, cheese pickles, mayonnaise, lettuce, cheese pickles, oh, what am I saying?
You deserve a break today at McDonald's,
where your dollar gets a break every day.
Hey there, welcome back. If you grew up in the 1970s, you probably had your favorite burger joint. Or maybe you were more of a fried chicken or roast beef fan. Either way, fast food was booming. It was cheap, fast, and tasted way better than the mystery meat in school lunches. Let's dig into the 10 most popular fast food chains that had us licking our fingers, unwrapping greasy paper with anticipation, and always asking for extra napkins. Number 1, McDonald's.
Get yourself ready for a trip through McDonald land.
Ah, the golden arches. You couldn't miss them on highways, downtown, or just glowing like a beacon of joy from the strip mall parking lot. By the 1970s, McDonald's was already a cultural icon. The menu was simple: burgers, fries, shakes, and if you were lucky, a filet-o-fish that hadn't been sitting too long under the heat lamp. The Big Mac came with that elusive special sauce, and everyone acted like it was some ancient secret recipe passed down from burger monks. And let's not forget the Happy Meal, which hit the scene in '79. A burger, fries, a drink, and a toy. That was the jackpot. You could forget your math test if the toy was good enough. McDonald's wasn't fancy, but it never needed to be. Plastic seats, orange tile floors, and the smell of deep fryer oil embedded in every booth. That was the smell of freedom and sodium. Number 2, Burger King.
If I wanted a Whopper and asked you to hold the pickles and hold the lettuce, would I get to hear you sing?
No, sir. You'd get to hear us sing. Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce, special orders, donuts and us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
If McDonald's was the straight-laced honor student, Burger King was the cool kid who let you customize your order. Have it your way, they said, and that meant no pickles, extra onions, or just a plain burger with nothing but ketchup. The Whopper was the real star here. Bigger, messier, and totally unhinged compared to the Big Mac. When you got a Whopper, it didn't come neatly stacked. It came with lettuce spilling out the side like it had lost a fight with a salad bar. They even flame-broiled their burgers, which felt like the culinary equivalent of wearing a leather jacket. It tasted like it came off a backyard grill, if your backyard smelled like mop water and fries. But that was the charm. You didn't go to Burger King for elegance. You went because it was loud, unapologetic, and had a soda machine that sprayed every flavor under the sun. Number 3, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Take it home by the box, bucket, or barrel, but take it home. And take it from the Colonel. Kentucky Fried Chicken is finger-licking good.
Before it was KFC, it was Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it was all about that full name. They wanted you to know exactly what you were getting: Southern fried, crispy, and probably more calories than you needed for the entire week. Buckets were the gold standard, a family-sized tub of drumsticks, thighs, and breasts, each piece with that 11 herbs and spices mystery coating. No one knew what the secret ingredients were, but everyone claimed they could taste paprika. And don't forget the sides: mashed potatoes that somehow had no potato texture, gravy with the consistency of Elmer's glue, and biscuits that could double as doorstops. But together? Magic. The Colonel was everywhere in the '70s, in commercials, posters, and occasionally your dreams after 3 pieces too many. He looked like a guy who knew his way around a pressure fryer and probably didn't trust microwaves. Number 4, Wendy's.
Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, they're cooked just for you.
Wendy's didn't show up until 1969, but by the mid-'70s it was on a roll, and it came in swinging with square burgers. That shape alone made you feel like you were eating something fancier than usual. Never mind that the cheese still melted off the corners like lava. They sold themselves on fresh, never-frozen beef, and in the '70s that was a bold claim, especially when most places served patties that came out of the freezer with the flexibility of a hockey puck. Then came the Super Bar in the late 70s, an all-you-can-eat salad, pasta, and taco bar that looked like it belonged in a Vegas buffet. It was wild. You could pile up spaghetti and nacho cheese on the same plate, and no one would blink. And the baked potato? Revolutionary. Who orders a baked potato at a fast food joint? But somehow it worked. It was Wendy's way of saying, yeah, we're different, and we brought sour cream. All right, real quick, hit pause for just a second. I noticed most folks watching haven't subscribed yet. So here's the deal. I'll keep digging up these 1970s gems. And all I ask is that if you've watched more than one of my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free, it helps more than you know, and it keeps the memories rolling in. Oh, and if you're on Facebook, join me there too. See you in the comments. Number 5. Taco Bell.
Want something tasty and delicious? Taco Bell, Taco Bell.
I love the one and only original taste of Taco Bell's beefy tostada.
If you were craving a little spice in the 70s, well, Taco Bell was your best bet. Even if spice meant just a hint of mild sauce in a packet you weren't entirely sure how to open. Taco Bell gave us the crunchy taco in a little paper sleeve, that weirdly satisfying Mexi-Melt, and burritos that could double as hand warmers in the winter. The decor? Let's just say if adobe and plastic had a baby, it would be the inside of a 1970s Taco Bell. Lots of orange, lots of brown, and seating that gave you a bruise if you sat down too fast. People joke that Taco Bell wasn't real Mexican food, but honestly, that was part of the charm. It was its own thing, a beef and bean fantasy land with a drive-thru. I still remember my sister daring me to eat 3 bean burritos in one sitting. I did it, but the consequences were legendary. Let's just say I lost my place on the couch for a week. Number 6. Arbys.
Arbys is a big, juicy roast beef sandwich. Arbys is a with that horsey sauce. Arbys is a
Delicious dinner.
Arbys was the place for people who didn't want a burger but weren't quite ready to commit to a salad. They went all in on roast beef, and if you could unwrap that sandwich without getting sauce on your shirt, you deserved a medal. The roast beef came stacked high, tucked into a soft bun, and smothered in that strangely addictive Arbys sauce. And don't get me started on the horsey sauce, a name that raised eyebrows but somehow made horseradish sound fun. They even had those curly Q heat lamps that made everything look like it was ready for a food fight. But the Jamocha shake? That was the real star. Chocolate, coffee, and just enough artificial flavoring to make your eyes twitch. Arbys was never the loudest chain on the block, but it had its loyal followers. If you wanted something hot, salty, and weirdly elegant, you pulled into that cowboy hat sign and got to work. Number 7. Pizza Hut.
Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Let yourself go, say Super Supreme.
Would you look at that pizza?
Fast food doesn't always mean burgers. And in the 70s, Pizza Hut was the king of the dine-in pizza game. Red roofs, Tiffany-style lamps, and those iconic red plastic cups you couldn't destroy with a hammer. You'd sit in a booth that smelled like dough and oregano, order a pan pizza, and stare at that mini jukebox in the corner like it was the future of entertainment. They didn't rush you either. Pizza Hut was the fancy dinner of the fast food world. You actually sat down, waited for your food, and argued over who got the slice with the most pepperoni. And that cheese pull from a deep dish pizza? That wasn't just marketing, that was art. It was gooey, greasy, and totally worth the wait, even if the wait was 45 minutes. In the 70s, Pizza Hut felt like a celebration, a birthday, a Friday night, or just making it through a long week of chores. It all called for a trip to the Hut. Number 8. A&W. A&W didn't just sell burgers, they sold an entire experience, with car hops, frosty mugs, and that unmistakable root beer foam mustache that told the world, I made the right choice today. The food? Classic diner style. Hot dogs, cheeseburgers, fries, and root beer floats that made you forget you were wearing your school clothes. The burgers had that no-frills, straight-off-the-griddle taste, and the buns were just the right amount of squish. The best part was that glass mug. Ice cold, heavy in your hand, and filled with homemade root beer that tasted like something your grandpa might have brewed in the garage. Some locations still had the car hop service in the 70s too. Nothing beat the thrill of eating in your car with a tray clipped to the window, praying you didn't knock your drink over trying to reach for ketchup. Number 9. Jack in the Box.
Welcome, sir, to Jack in the Box.
You got tacos?
Yes, sir.
You got hamburgers?
Yes, sir.
You got omelets?
Yes, we do.
You got french fries and onion rings?
Yes, sir.
You got a steak sandwich?
We got it.
Jack in the Box always felt like it was from the future. The drive-thru speaker looked like it had been stolen from a spaceship, and the voice inside somehow always misunderstood your order, but you still came back. They were open late, the burgers were square-ish, and the tacos? A whole different category. Deep-fried, greasy, and strangely addictive. 2 for 99 cents, and worth every penny, even if you had no idea what was inside. Their mascot back then wasn't the giant round-headed guy we know today. It was an actual Jack-in-the-Box toy on the drive-thru speaker. You'd order, and it would spring open. The gimmick was fun, until it gave a few kids nightmares. Jack in the Box never tried to be like the others. The food was unpredictable, the menu chaotic, and the commercials even weirder. But somehow, they carved out their own corner of the fast food world. Number 10. Hardees.
I went to a fancy party. Everybody had a good time, eating lobster tails and caviar and olives from Spain. But I had Hardees on my mind, Hardees on my mind, Hardees on my mind.
Hardees was one of those places you didn't think about until you were already there. Kind of like a gas station bathroom, except the food was way better. Their breakfast game in the 70s? Underrated. Biscuits and gravy, sausage patties, and those perfect hash browns. Most other places didn't even try to compete on that front. For lunch and dinner, they had the usual lineup: burgers, fries, and milkshakes, but everything had this southern charm. The burgers were big, the buns were pillowy, and the fried chicken had some real crunch. Hardees wasn't flashy, but that was the appeal. It was the kind of place where you didn't have to dress up, think too hard, or wait too long. You just showed up, ate too much, and waddled back to the car with a smile on your face. The 70s weren't just disco and polyester. They were drive-thrus, deep fryers, and fries dunked in chocolate shakes. These fast food joints fueled our weekends, birthdays, and late-night hangs. Were you loyal to the Big Mac, chasing burritos at Taco Bell, or hooked on a Jamocha shake? Let me know your favorite in the comments, hit like, and subscribe to keep the retro ride going. Until next time, stay greasy, stay golden, and save me a seat in the booth.